Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing another canning episode. The garden's nearing its end, and we've got a overabundance of Kentucky Wonder beans, which is a type of bush bean. So I've got to can some of those up before they go bad, before I end up having to toss them. Well, I put all the effort into growing them if you're not going to actually use them or preserve them in some way. So I'm going to show you how you can some beans. They are a pressure can type item. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Okay guys, so I did kind of skip over a step. The breaking them, you're going to take the beans. Now Kentucky Wonders are said to be stringless beans. Now I find that to be semi-false. I do find strings in my Kentucky Wonders. So you're going to de-string them and break the tips off. And then just kind of break them or cut them down into about the same size. After cleaning them and everything else. And then put them into your pint jars. They're raw packed. Now you're going to use the pickling and canning salt, half a teaspoon per pint. So if you're doing quarts, it's going to be 1 teaspoon. Just a half a teaspoon right on into the jars. So I'm going to fill up all of these, and then we'll go on to the next part. Once that's done, you're going to take just plain boiling water and fill your jars. It's a ½ inch of headspace. Now once that's done, you're going to go ahead and debubble it. Just kind of push those bubbles out. Take a clean rag, wipe your rims. Cleaned rims. They don't even have to be warmed technically by standards anymore. Don't bring them to a boil if you're warming them. But make sure they're at least cleaned with soap and water. Put your lids onto your jars. So Ball used to tell you to warm your lids in a pot on the stove. And not to bring it to a boil, but to warm it. Now they tell you don't do that. I can assume it's because their quality's gone down. They just can't handle it. The seals are just not what they used to be. So you're going to put the rings on finger tight, which basically means just till it starts spinning like that. I always do a partial little turn after it starts spinning. That's just me. If you go too tight, it's going to buckle your lid. So you don't want to go too tight, but I don't like leaving them this loose because in my opinion, it's just not even on there really. So I do a partial turn. So now these are ready to go into the pressure canner. The pressure canner, you should only have about what your manual says to put into the pressure canner. I do 2 quarts of water at the bottom. You do not need to fill it fully. You just need enough water to process. Now using your little tool, go ahead and lower your jars into your canner. This could be filled up more, but it's just what I had. Make sure you have the plate at the bottom of your canner that's helping keep the jars off the bottom. If you don't have that, use a towel, use something so it's not directly on the heat. Start your canner up. And slowly bring it to temperature. Put your lid on without the weight until it starts to vent, until it starts to steam. Then you'll put the weight on. So I'll bring you back when we get to that point. So guys, I forgot to bring you back, but once you have vented your canner for 10 minutes, which means the steam is going to be coming out of the hole that this weight is covering. You're going to put the weight on and then let it build pressure. Once your weight is doing a gentle hula rock, which I've already finished processing, but it's literally just going to rock back and forth very gently. Once it's rocking back and forth, you start your timer, and these are going to be processed in pines for 20 minutes. Once 20 minutes is up, move your canner off the heat and leave the weight on the canner. Let it drop pressure naturally. Usually takes anywhere from 40 minutes to like an hour, sometimes a little longer. Once that pressure is dropped, you can open the lid and just cockeye it a little bit. Be careful, there will be steam, so it will be hot. And let it cool for like another 10 minutes, kind of get used to the temperatures to avoid the siphoning, and then you can remove them from the canner and put them on top of a towel. Do not put them on a cold counter because you will crack your jars. But this now has to sit and just kind of wait it out, so it cools down and releases pressure so it can be safe for me to open it. So guys, once you are able to remove your jars from the canner, you're going to set them out on a towel or a blanket, something that's going to help keep the heat from going from extreme heat to extreme cold too fast so you don't shock your jars and crack them. Let them sit out for 24 hours. Once 24 hours has passed, you're able to now check your seals. You're going to remove the bands. Do not store them with the bands, guys. That runs risk of not only causing your seal to prematurely break, but it also runs the risk of possibly causing a false seal, because it could unseal, but then if right conditions present, it could reseal itself, and you would never know. So then you're going to check. Make sure you can pick up your jar by the lid, and the lid is not going to come off, and make sure this middle button is down. If you hear any pinging of a middle button, it is not down. Check all of them, label them, date them, put them on your shelf, and they're good for at least a year. Ball now says 18 months. Some people have ate things 5, 6, 7 years later. Obviously, nutrition value is going to go down the longer it waits. But happy canning, guys. Hope this helped you out. And we'll catch you on the next one.